Everyone. Been a while since I've done a video, a lot longer than I intended, but it's just been work, work, work lately. And if you want to include my volunteer job, I've been working 3 jobs. As I may or may not have mentioned, I help co lead a group called YPR, which is Young People in Recovery, which you don't necessarily have to be young to join the group, but when it first started, it was geared toward younger people. But it's basically an all recovery group that me and my best friend run at the Layman Way Center, which is right next to the jail. So basically, we're running a group for people who have been arrested for drug related crime. And so that's also been helping with my stage fright a bit, along with making YouTube videos. Um, but yeah, I've been very, very tired lately, as a lot of people have been complaining about fatigue. And with these shifts, we just got through that full moon slash eclipse slash blood moon, which has had everybody feeling very, very tired and weighed down. One of my coworkers had to actually go see a doctor because he's been fatigued for over a week, and he's been complaining of nausea, which could, be related to another illness like anemia or mono, but nonetheless, he's not the only person that's wondered if they should seek medical attention for their fatigue. Um, so yeah, along with working a lot, there have been a lot of other things that have gotten in the way of me making videos. I've been having a lot of anxiety and different things. Like I'll know what to say, but my thoughts won't keep up with what I'm actually saying. Like in group, um, one of the people that is there for the group asked me if see, I'm having that problem right now. I know what I want to say, but it's just not, coming out. Anyway, this guy asked me, could you share some of your story? Because my friend, who is the main leader of the group, she told her story. And, you know, with me, my story is not only very long, but it's very emotional. And, like, lately with these shifts, my emotions have been very high. It's been hard for me not to get, depressed or upset or irritated or, all that fun array of emotions that come up when you talk about, the story with your addiction and why you became an addict, or, the proper term I'm trying to use is substance abuse disorder. Not technically, like, not supposed to say addict anymore, but with that aside, there's a lot of things that went into my problems with drugs and, you know, all that fun stuff, the trauma, which is very hard for me to talk about, and it goes from way back, and it's just a lot to go through in such a condensed amount of time. So that was really tough, but I ended up getting through it, and my friend, of course, said, "Oh, you did really well. You did a lot better than I anticipated you would do," and blah blah blah. But with me, of course, I was nitpicking all the flaws, and oh well, I left out this, and I could have worded that a bit better. I could have been more precise about this, and then I was afraid that I was down talking medication because, throughout a lot of my life, I've been on various different types of medications that have made things a lot worse for me in the long run, and made my mental illness and my disabilities and my addiction a lot more messy than it could have been. And, like, I don't want to tell people, like, no, you shouldn't take medication, but this is how it went for me, and this is how these are areas where I had a hard time with it and all that stuff. But I do know that there are some people that, you know, for lack of a better term, need to be on medication. And I do understand why, because some people literally can't function. Like, their mental illness is so great that they feel they need to have that to function as a normal human being. And I can understand that. Like, I've had friends that when they're off their meds, they're all over the place and they can't do their daily tasks. With me, it got in the way of doing my daily tasks. So everybody's different, and I understand that and I respect that. And I didn't want to tell the group, no, you shouldn't, like, because there are some that if they don't have Suboxone, they're going to relapse, and that's it. And we need to prevent people from overdose, like relapsing and overdosing. So I don't want to tell people like, no, you shouldn't be on Suboxone, no, you shouldn't be on methadone. And I wanted to make that clear, and I feel that I did. I feel like, at the end when they brought that up, I'm like, you know what, that's not what I meant, that's just part of my story. And my friend's like, well, you did use the I statements, use the me statement, like you were talking about you weren't trying to tell them, like, project onto them. So I mean, I guess in that aspect I did all right. So, but I mean, I still feel like, it's going to take some time for me to really, you know integrate and, you know, feel more confident about, you know, saying my piece. And, you know, so, these energies have just got me all in a funk. I don't even really know, like, why I decided to make a video today. I just felt like I should, and that's what I'm doing. So, moving on to the next, you know, point that I was going to bring up about these shifts is that, you're going to be feeling really triggered by a lot of things. A lot of people are feeling triggered. I even see it on Facebook. People are talking about, what set them off, and, like, how it's making them find a different perspective. And today, like, if I felt like people were making a lot more positive posts, talking about moving forward, and, making a lot of changes. There's a lot of change happening, and a lot of people are, really being adamant and recommitting themselves to achieving that different goal and to moving into the next phase of their life. And, like I said in my retrograde video, that's what a lot of these shifts are about. And when like things come up, like memories and, like trauma triggers and stuff, it's, bringing that up for you to recognize something new about that particular memory, and to find ways to officially put it to rest and move forward and learn from it. And I think that that's a very key component to the changes that need to start happening, with people as a whole, and with you yourself, and with society, and where the world is going to go to next. Whether things are going to get worse before they get better, which is basically a given. A lot of things are going to get worse before they get better. That's just how it goes in pretty much any situation. And I think that we need to also be patient with that, because change happens gradually, change happens slowly, it doesn't happen overnight. So we need to be patient with ourselves and just go with the flow of whatever it is you're feeling. And eventually, if you can't figure something out, the pieces will start falling into place. Like for example, I really, 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 really need to get out of this apartment. I need to get out 5 years ago, but I don't have a car, and me and my boyfriend, we want to live in Alfred, which is the next town over. And, since I don't have a car and the bus isn't going to Alfred, like, it's going to be really difficult for me to move in there and be able to get to work every day. And I put off getting I mean, this is embarrassing to say, but I'm 31 years old and I don't have my license. And that's been a real drawback for me, not only because I have to depend on either a bus or another person or a cab to bring me from point A to point B, and that's really fucking frustrating. And there have been a lot of reasons why I haven't gotten my license. My disability makes it so my reaction time is a little bit slower. That makes me extremely nervous, not just for myself but for other people. And there's also the money factor. I can't afford a car. My credit is absolutely horrible. So I can't just take out a loan. I have to have somebody co-sign for me, which my boyfriend said that, in the near future, he would be okay with that. But if we're going to get the house fixed or get another house, it's going to cost us a lot. Like, he's going to have to take out a loan for that. So either way, it's not going to happen overnight. And if we're going to share a car, he needs to make sure that we can both get to work, that he has a reliable, person to carpool with and all that stuff, which won't be that hard. But, the change itself makes me really nervous for a lot of different reasons. And this goes back to, you know, putting traumatic things in the past to rest. Like, being able to feel comfortable living with another person and trusting that it's going to be okay, trusting that it's going to work out, trusting that, I'll feel confident. And if it doesn't work out, that I'm not going to be homeless and all that kind of stuff. Because, in my past, situations like that have happened. And, I've been with my boyfriend for 6 years. Logically, I know that, even if things didn't work out, he wouldn't throw me out on the street or anything like that. I mean, I'm confident that things will work out, but, just adding that in there, that, it's more a matter of personal security and being able to trust myself and, trusting that the universe will take care of me, so it's a big step, but I feel comfortable about it. It's just getting the wheels turning, and there's a burden of moving and all that stuff, but I feel like with this shift, you know, if we're ready, we're going to feel comfortable enough to go to that next level. And if you're not, then that's okay. But, I think that either way, this is going to push all of us forward, even if it's just a little bit and not the grandiose, oh, I'm all the way up here and, everything's wonderful and all that. So, I mean, there's still going to be challenges no matter what. As long as you're here on planet Earth, there's going to be challenges. That's why we're here. But anyway, that's my video. And, like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And I'll see you next time.